And welcome back to the COVID Reboot series with me, Colin Donsko. This series, of course, is brought to you by the Cape Town Fashion Council as it continues to pioneer the development and the growth of the fashion economy in South Africa. She is the CEO who is paving it forward and focuses on value, or the value of impact. We are very privileged to have Arifa Parkar, CEO of the Western Cape Business Opportunities Forum, founded in 1995, with us as our guest speaker this afternoon. Arifa, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Colin. Lovely to see you again.
Thank you very much, Arifa. Today we're focusing on reviving or rebooting entrepreneurship in South Africa amidst and after the crisis that the country or the industry has been facing. But before we get into this, Arifa, I know that you've got a wealth of experience from working for the Chamber of Commerce to launching some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the country. A quick introduction. Who is Arifa Parkar to those who have not yet heard about Arifa?
Well, I'm just a simple person. Lots of years of I'm 63 now, so plus minus 45 years plus experience down the line. Tried my hand at several career changes. I'm a lawyer. I stopped practicing when I came to South Africa. I'm a linguist. I speak around 6 languages. Then that allowed me to actually do what I love doing best, and that is business. Mm-hmm. I love getting involved in businesses. Having a background where my father was my biggest hero in business world. He was the shrewdest, most ethical, socialist, capitalist person that I had ever seen. And that kind of background, and my brother being a business person, my late brother, and many of us having backgrounds to what business looks like. Actually, it was natural to have the business DNA in me too.
Absolutely.
But what was important was that I was always for the downtrodden, you know, the people who are struggling, the people who have a dream. I'm a dreamer myself, but I loved those people who had a dream, and I always loved to be behind them, just to be that backbone to say, you know what, you can dream and we can realize it together, mm-hmm. and we can walk together. Now, those people who came along with me and stood beside me and said, come, Arifa, we want you to be us, we want you to mentor us or be with us. That was what allowed me to do who I am today. My experience with Chamber of Commerce again opened more venues. It also showed what kind of a network I had. I mean, I know the Chamber made the most of it, of my network. I've got an international based network, loved doing business internationally, loved all the ins and outs of how we do businesses in the world, all the protocols, all the etiquettes. And this is all part of business that we had to learn. Business just doesn't come and you've built a business and you find a CIPC number. No. There's a lot that involves in business before you call yourself a business person. And the first thing I always tell to entrepreneurs that have you got the heart of a business person? You've got to have that heart. It's a very special person that becomes an entrepreneur because you go as low as possible. You've got to rise out of that sad state of affairs and come out of it. Absolutely. Then you go through the fire and you come out of it. Fantastic. Now that allowed me to do a lot of it. And then I ended by having my own 2 businesses. I've got a fantastic business, Asha Investment, where I do mainly mentoring and training. And then I was taken over to WECBOF, and I've taken the CEO's job, but I still work. And I opened also a mushroom farm.
Wow.
Exotic side. So Arifa keeps herself busy.
I love this. I love this. We know Arifa to be one of the CEOs that really focuses on building value and also dealing with the value of impact. And we've also known you to be the woman who's launched many an entrepreneur, and that's why I thought it fitting to have you as our speaker for this
Thank you.
episode this afternoon. Again, we are dealing with, or we are zooming in on ways to revive or reboot entrepreneurship within the clothing and textile industry in South Africa. Now, I know that you've got a passion for developing entrepreneurs, Arifa, but let's zoom in on the state of entrepreneurship in South Africa. What have you seen over this? I mean, we've been in this situation for about 90 days. What have been some of these things that you've been seeing in the entrepreneurship space during this period?
You know, Colin, I have felt the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I have felt the pain of our South African entrepreneurs. When 2020 started, we started with a big bang. Remember, everybody said 2020 with the change, you know, something like that. They said a big chance for all the changes. We as WECBOF also came up with beautiful. We had a strat session, and you should see when I keep going back to that strat session. I keep on looking, and I said, we can do that. We will. I pick points from it, and I talk to my board about it. I said, no, we can't just let it go down. So when the transition for the lockdown came into being, the first thing, and I don't know what made me do this, Colin, but exactly 1.5 months before the first lockdown that we had on the 25th of March, 2020, exactly 1.5 months before that, I requested WECBOF chairperson to put the WECBOF on the iCloud. And he says, but Arifa, why do you? I said, I don't know. I feel I need to have it because God forbid, if anything happens to me, I need to be at home and I need to work from it. And I can't come every time for little things at the office. And he says, go ahead, Arifa. Got my IT person and he did everything. He showed me the way. You know, I'm not an IT fundi, but they walk the walk with me. I'm always eager to learn. I think I'm quite a techie person these days, if I can do Zoom training.
Of course.
How it came about. And the day we took over, and that Monday, my office house. Now remember, I used to work from home. So I know the discipline of home working. But the outcome, the first thing that came to me that really shot on my face was I got calls and says, how can we work from home? We don't know how to work from home. We don't have place from home. Arifa, we live in such. I said, oh my God, I didn't realize that. Started a series of, still having a whole series of talks on COVID-19, how to work from home, that we have to do. And I follow Steve Corbett's philosophy of repeat times. Mm-hmm. I started giving the information to people. I started getting in touch with people who had the knowledge of how to apply for UIF. You know, the information was there. The government was doing all its best. But what they didn't realize that many of our people don't know how to go and apply for that. That was our biggest thing. And it is still our biggest area.
Absolutely. Let's make this practical for a second, Arif, because you're very right in saying that many SME owners did not necessarily know where to go and find the resources or the information. So let's 3 simple practical steps. What should SME owners be doing now? Many are overcome with these challenges. They want to close shop. They want to close down their business because they don't see a way out. So what are 3 immediate practical steps that these SME business owners should be taking?
You know, the first thing you'll have to do is, and all my entrepreneurs, I tell them, now is the time to build a business survival strategy. If you haven't done it, then get down to it.
Okay.
This is practical. You should have done that in your 3rd or 4th week. I know it was all of a sudden, nobody was expecting this. You know, we were not even, our economy, our government were not ready for it. No governments were ready for it. They are still learning. It's 90 days, we are still learning, but we are trying our best. But the first thing I told our business people, that get off your comfort zone. This is the new normal. It is not going to just happen for 2 months and then we will go back to normal. It is never going to come back to normal. So anybody who's listening to me, accept the fact. This is the new normal. It will be 2022, 23. If we ever get there to reach the normal, and it's not going to be, because our mindsets would already be changed. So the first thing, our entrepreneurs need to accept the fact that you've got to embrace new technologies. Colin, I've got, I'm a Rotarian. And every Wednesday when we have the Zoom Rotary meeting, we get 30 to 50 people attending from all over the world on our Zoom meeting on Wednesday. And everybody knows an average age of a Rotarian is 60 plus or 50 plus, as they say. In my Rotary Club, I think I'm the youngest. At 63, I'm the youngest.
Wow.
So I feel very good I'm the youngest. But what I'm trying to put across is that all those oldies have taken to technology.
Mm-hmm.
It is fabulous, I tell you. We learned by our mistakes. We learned how to we want to do a presentation, some people go on the screen, put on the screen. We would wait and do, but now they're becoming expert at it. So technology, invest in technology. It might be a little expensive, but go and look for a finder. Don't remember, there are lots of fly-by-nights. So you go and find somebody who you can trust to do it. It is hard times.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure you embrace technology in every sense of it. And then I know the startups or wannabe entrepreneurs who started off and now they don't have funding, never thought of having a rainy day fund. We never think of that, especially my entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell them, when you have a little bit of capital, you must keep a little bit aside. I'm at 63, but I still have a fund that goes out from, I don't care where it goes in that kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, the time when there's tough, I can put my hand into it and I'm able to keep. And always I know there's a lot of pressure on you, but keep your business top of mind, keep your business right on top, because reaching out to customers to keep your businesses top, you've got to communicate. You've got to learn to say, you know what? I will be closing for 3 weeks now, but I'm online. Can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Get in. That is what networking is. I'm guru of networker. Well, how do you think I've been busy all these days for 90 days? Because my network has never died.
Absolutely.
I'm with my members. I ask them what is wrong. I just got a call before you came on board now from a non-member, but heard of me and got in touch with me and says, Arifa, I've got an opportunity for people in construction. I need members, your members who would like this opportunity. You know what I did? I jumped on it. I gave her my email. Get in touch with me, send me all the details. I'll be the first one to make sure that opportunity goes. So you don't keep those things to yourself. You start spreading out. You start communicating. And if you have not ever, as a CEO or a done it, then you are stupid to do it, not to do it. Because this is what you need. You need to show your face.
Mm-hmm.
Phone, get the phone and start doing. The third thing that you have to learn to do, especially as an entrepreneur, when you started off, you said you're going to have a CEO, a financial guy, you have this, that, and everybody. I am sorry, darling. You've got to come down to the basics now. Make it lean. Do we need this at the moment? No. So you do away with all that and you become. At WECBOF, I am the beginning and the end. I am the financial manager, I'm the CEO, I'm the marketeer, I'm everything. Mm-hmm. I'm a dog's and I've learned to do it. Wow. I know we are going through the lean times, but you can do it. But you know what I'm experiencing, Colin, while I'm doing all this? As a CEO, I know I've always been in the managers and in the big positions all my life. I didn't know what was an admin's work, but more respect for if I ever keep another person as I have more respect for that person because I know what I'm doing as an admin also. Wow. So you're relearning yourself. And then finally, you must remember, you are now going, because we are in a new normal. Mm-hmm. If you're offering 10 things, cut down. Offer 5 things. You have to cut down. Wow. Pay attention to 5 things that you are doing. Because, Colin, 90 days has taught me everything now. And I'm still learning. And one of the things I found out, that if I've got members who said, Arif, we are at the point, I said, don't close. Don't. I'm guiding you. Go and get your application for the, we got it, Arifa, but we don't know how to do it. I guide them to the person who will help them to do it. Then, now that you've got that side right, don't close your doors. For me, it is the employee, not the employer, the employees that will benefit because they need to have a salary. I also tell them, go and find out from your employees if they need not a salary, but a wage. If they need a wage now. It is working, Colin. I'm amazed at what is coming out of it. Because this one company was going to close down, but because I told them, get a little strategy into place now. Let us think outside the box. You've got 10 people working, and you are so passionate about your 10 people. You don't want to let them go. They need, because they are the only ones who are the brain earners. So how do we keep them? So I help them cutting down on this, making it lean. I said, if you're offering 10 things, make it 3 things, but make it the best. And get in touch with all your customers and keep them informed of what you are doing. Don't be shy. People don't want to tell them that they are in difficulty.
Yes.
Colin, I don't hear what you are going through. How will I be able to help you?
Wow, that's impressive.
Strategies that we have to start thinking very seriously. And then, like I said, get your financial house in order. The spending that we used to do, cut it down. Remember, we have cut down a lot of spending. You ask any entrepreneur, because you're not traveling. I mean, in this 90 days, I went to the gas station only once.
So we're not spending.
Twice a week, I went only once in 90 days.
Wow.
So it does say that working in meetings, I'm regular with my meetings. I have Zoom meetings, Skype meetings, Google meeting, whatever they want, I am on it. It is still keeping me in touch. People, I only miss the fact that I can't. I'm a very physical person. I like to see, we love to hug and say hi and all that. I miss that. But the Zoom is being able to let me know, because I like to see the face. I like to know what is happening. I want to know that you're going through a bad time. I can see it in the eyes of the person.
Absolutely.
That is important for me. So these are just the tip of the iceberg that I'm giving you.
Absolutely.
That you can really touch on.
Absolutely.
And then the tips that you could look at. People are saying, what is the government doing? They are doing a lot, but you need to go into it. You see, when the government does it, they can't implement it because we, as our South Africans, you remember that, say 40, 50% or more, I might be corrected, or that are not ready, or we don't know how to go and apply, and it's big procedure. I mean, I have kept somebody now on my, I found somebody in my group who is so good at filling up applications and everything that I told her, can you add this in your profile, please? You are so good. So I'm putting a streamline of people who need applications to be done. I said, go. She will charge you. She's very reasonable, but go and have it done. Because she knows the language that it needs to be filled up. Remember, government language that you need to know to fill up, especially when you're doing for finances. You can't put your own thoughts over there, not your passion. Your passion will not make any effect on it, because the government people, when they look at it, they just tick. They just tick. Oh, yeah, she's filled up. She's done this. Oh, what is all this thing she's written? No, I'm not interested in it. And that application is kept aside. It is terrible. I know it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But that is life.
Absolutely.
So go and look for government support. Go and see. And then I'm looking at people who have got 3 or 4 people working. I know of companies who have got 20 people working, and they have kept 10 people working in the office. 10 people are working from home. But they had a difficulty in the transition. And we spoke about it, and I helped them to write the work from home policies. Thank God, my legal mind. So I was able to create a bit here and a bit there, and I helped them to get that policies done. And they are using it now. They said, Arifa, thank God you've given us something. Because remember, working at home. And then I had this people from working at home saying, Arifa, our employers are abusing us. There you go. Of course they are abusing you. Because when you're working at home, they think they can phone me at 6 o'clock in the evening and say, hey, Arifa, can you send me that email quickly? I said, no, excuse me. I work from 8:30 to 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
After I am no longer your employee. I am my self.
Let's talk to employers. So SME employers or business owners that do have staff working from. This is all new for them. So the whole transition to employees now working at home. What advice do you have to them? Because it's new.
It is very new.
Yes.
The first thing I tell them is go and look after your employees.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, go and look after your employees. If you don't have the heart to look after your employees, then forget it. You can't even bother about it, because the first thing is your employees, people, your staff, the technology that allows remote working, and then managing your deliveries at work.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite is my home policy that I helped to create. So your staff is your people, Colin. What are you thinking about doing it? Yes. Now you must remember that working home comes with a sense of unknown. Many people have never done it.
Mm-hmm.
I did a training course for an organization where they told me, Arifa, can you give us some guidelines of working from home? How do you do it? So I did an hour session with them, and I told them what was, the unknown areas that they had to do. And I used my practical example. During the night, my bedroom is used as a bedroom. But in the morning, exactly 8:30, it is an office. I have created an office space where there is a tray where I keep all my work things on it. It's very organized. It's as good as being in an office. The first thing I did was go to the office and get my chair. I found out that when I was giving this talk, many of the people actually did that. They went back to their offices and asked their employers, can we get our chair? Because your chair is your comfort zone.
Your comfort space, yes.
That is your comfort, more than your comfort, it's your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. You feel secure in that chair. You work with that chair. And the first thing I told them is that it's going to take time, but you have to start with this thing in your mind. I start my work exactly 8:30. My laptop is on, everything is. The first thing I do in the morning is I dress up. Colin, I don't work in pajamas. I've had meetings where I see people. I said, sorry, can you do a reschedule? I don't talk.
Absolutely, yeah.
And look at you, you're so smartly dressed.
Is this all part of your work from home policy?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to dress up. I put I never put makeup, but I do put cream and everything, and I am ready for and then you feel it, because psychologically it works on my mind. Mm-hmm. Ready now for work, thoroughly. Once I start my work, I look at my emails, and then at office, when we go to the office, what is the first thing that people do? They go to the coffee. They like their tea, or they have a little breakfast or porridge. I tell people, go to your kitchen and make your little breakfast, or come and sit next to your table with your porridge and everything. Because now the action of working at home starts. Mm-hmm. And you discipline yourself by making sure that around 10:30, around 10:30, I get out from my table, because I can't keep on watching the PC every time. Because at office, you would take a break and chat with your friends or somebody. Here, you take a break. Mine is a very simple one. I've got two drivers. So the one driver, which is not used for cars, I walk up and down. It's around 13 meters long. So I make 10 walks up and down of it. So it gives me enough exercise to walk up and down, look at the sky, just breathe in the air, take the sunshine, and I'm back again over here till lunch break. Now, when we are working from home, we forget to eat lunch. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know so many people who say, we're working from home. No. How are you going to mentally start working if you don't have the discipline of working from home? Have your lunch break. And when you're having your lunch break, please don't go and go on another IP or your phone or anything. No, go and just read a book or do something.
I love
Stand
that.
on your
Yeah. I
to
love
do
that.
something to
I love
them.
that. That's very simple, practical ways to just adjust to the whole working from home situation. And I've heard many entrepreneurs and business owners who are struggling with this transition because we started off this interview with saying this new normal, or this whole new thing being forced on us. Is we weren't trained or prepared for it. So thank you for touching on that, Arifa.
Exactly.
With every crisis, there are opportunities, and few know how to identify the opportunities. I know you're one of the CEOs in the country who has the skill to identify opportunities or potential and then develop that into something great. But let's quickly talk about the other side of the coin, Arifa, with the fashion SME sector or economy in South Africa. What are some of the challenges to growing the economy on grassroots level?
Where the design and the textile industry
Yeah,
is.
clothing,
I think,
textile, fashion.
Colin, you know that the design, the funding for the textile industry and anybody going in the manufacturing is been there. And if
Yeah.
anybody wants to, and if you go on our website, you will see the funding over there available for those. But before you get to the fundings and everything, one of the failures of our SMMEs, and you are right in pointing out, they see the opportunity. They're clever because they're entrepreneurs. They see the opportunities. But then they're stuck. We don't have the machines. We don't have this. We don't have that. How do we get it? The government is giving, but the government is not giving us. Aha. Get back to the basics. Even the government has to be accountable. Did you, in your time, go and be compliant? 90% of our failures of getting funding is because 90% are not compliant. I am giving you the figures now.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And I'm sitting over here. I have got people who phoned me, you know, for what? Arifa, thank you for nagging us all our life to get our compliance. We got our funding because of your compliance. I said, thank you. That I'm not nagging you just for nothing. I'm giving you the facts. If you are not compliant, you're not going anywhere.
90% of applications are unsuccessful because of lack of compliance.
Yes.
Wow.
You know the SPASA funding that is being made available?
Yes.
90% of them couldn't get it because they were not compliant. So now they're going through compliances. They've got somebody now to get the compliance. So I am not talking, nonsense. Talking about being a good citizen. I am talking about the rules of the country. I'm talking about your responsibility as a good citizen to make sure you're compliant with the country's legislations. I'm making it more philosophical.
Absolutely.
People to realize that if you're not, and it is easy, it's not even difficult to be compliant. I have made life for people who want compliances. I give them the five-point test when they want to start anything. I said, are you registered? What is that, Arifa? I said, have you got a CK number? Did you go to SIPC and all that? No. I said, okay, I'm going to give you all and I give them the steps also how to go about doing it. You get all this done, Colin, nothing should stop you from getting your money, your funding, or starting your business. The opportunities are plenty, let me tell you.
Wow. I
have an NGO who says, Arifa, this cupboards of mine are filled with material and all Italian material, excuse me. And she says, I don't know. I said, but make masks. Where's masks? And now she has got 5 people from Delft who come down and they make the mask and everything. And they earn per day around 400 to 500 rand.
Wow.
Yes, and they're able to go home to put food. And now what is she, because her place is small, she's only keeping the 4. But what the others are doing is that they are using that money they're earning to help others also.
To help others. Wow. That's creating an opportunity in the midst of a crisis. Now, apart from the most important thing, which is putting a survival strategy in place, going lean, embracing technology, and getting your financial house in order. Let's quickly talk to SME owners again, Arifa, and ways to restructure their SMEs or their businesses in the midst of this crisis. And so we can't do what we were doing yesterday and expect it to work today. We've got to somehow restructure or reboot. What are some of the restructuring that needs to take place now?
You must have a meeting for a strat session. You have to start looking. Many of the companies have never had a strat session in their life. And I'm amazed at so many companies who don't have strat sessions, especially our SMMEs and everything. It doesn't matter if you're an SMME, but a strat session is a strat session. because it's a place where you will be able to have your, as I say, a helicopter ride. I can't afford a helicopter ride, but I tell them, go on the helicopter ride and look down into your business. And you will realize where your business is at that present moment. You'll be able to re-strategize from marketing to finance to admin to even the offerings. Remember the offering and also the marketing. All this takes place when you strategize.
Absolutely.
Every small wants to exist in this COVID-19 period will have to re-strategize all these areas, the 5 areas that I keep on to. And marketing, I'm doing a lot on it at the moment because I'm getting people who are explaining to me and telling me, Arifa, we went online. I said, fantastic. How did you do it? And they told me how they went. And then I've got a company who's got paint, painting. They sell paint products and everything. I said, it must be difficult. You can't serve people now and all that. Oh, no, Arifa. We've made a very technical advance, they said, and they looked at me and they said, beyond your time. I said, oh, yeah? All right. And they love to tease me about all this. And then they told me how they went their paint thing online. And their marketing is doing well. And they said, Arifa, we haven't seen, we were thinking that we would have at least 75% cut completely in our sales. They have reached 76%.
Wow. And that's because they went online, was it?
Yes, and not only that, that person actually told me a secret. They said because our owner and the employer, the director, he embraced the new technology. That spoke a lot, Colin. That spoke. Because you have to remember, we are still in the old, we keep our blinkers on. We can't afford that. We've got to change. You've got to change.
Absolutely.
You don't. Then don't do it at all.
Absolutely. And we've got to evolve with the times. Otherwise, we're going to fall by the wayside. Let's quickly talk about the importance of mentorship and building and why this is important for the survival and the success of you.
Colin, I'm glad you brought this mentorship point. Now more than ever, our entrepreneurs and our business people need mentors. I didn't realize the power that I have in my mentorship. I've got my own mentoring program. And I was taking it easy, like, I take 5 mentees a year and I'm quite happy with that. I can't do that any longer. I have to increase my mentor because the demand has come so much. And I'm finding myself, okay, I'll have to keep more time on mentorship. I need to give people that help they need. Now more than ever, you need to be behind the people and just be their eyes and their ears. And that, I call it the backbone to the entrepreneur. Because they need someone who they can call in that dark moment. And when they finish, I feel so humbled, Colin. After a session with my mentees, they said, Arifa, please, we want to just give you a hug. And in that Zoom, they'll just give me a, they said, you've just given us, made our life a little easier. You've given us some hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And also proves the importance of mentorship, because we've been saying for years that that's one of the biggest problems in South Africa. There's a lack of mentorship. And so you're proving that it makes a world of a difference. Now, one of the big challenges, or one of the big and I would say problems especially in South Africa within the creative industry, is that of IP. Guys will come up with these really great ideas, but they will sit with it and it never materializes because they don't know what to do with that IP. What is your advice when it comes to protecting IP and also the legalities surrounding this?
You see, one of the things that I found in the IP with the youngsters who come up with wonderful ideas, unfortunately, they're so excited with their IP, they have no sense of business. They knowledge, the IP knowledge. They are the, what do you call the nerds? I call them the special nerds. I call them lovingly nerds. But beyond that nerdship, there's nothing. They don't know anything about this. They will be excited about that product of theirs, and they go and talk to 101 people. So by the time they are going to get into the market, somebody has already taken the market, the idea, and they're running away with it.
Run with it, yes.
Failures. So first thing I advise them, is if you have a product or anything, don't go and talk about it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. The first thing to do is have a copyright and keep your matters. And when you want to talk about something, don't talk about the A to Z about it. You talk about A, you talk about P, and then you talk about Y. Keep the main things away. Just dangle the carrot in front.
I love that.
You know, my training that I give on pitching, how you pitch. When I have and one of the things I do with my people in the IT, they always present me 10 to 12 slides with all technology. They give me all the documents. After the second or the third slide, I fall asleep because I've lost interest.
Yeah.
They look at me and they said, Arifa, don't insult us by sleeping. I said, I want you to see that I am sleeping because that's the effect on the investor. Just start dissecting your pitch, your slides. And out of the 10, I keep only 3 slides. And I tell them what they're going to talk about. And in the end, when they said, Arifa, but it does make sense, though, you've given us. I said, yeah, you are so passionate about your work that you forget that I don't know any of the jargon that you're talking about. I only want to know how is my money going to go into it and what I'm going to get at the end of it. Remember, I'm an investor.
Absolutely.
Plus I'm an Indian. So I want to know what is in it for me. You got to make sure that you talk the language and don't go excited over that, you know, you used this wire and that wire. I'm not interested in any of the wires. I just want to know what is it that the solution you have for a problem in the market. So that is the weakest point that you have. They talk a lot. They have no strategy on how to pitch. And other thing is they have no sense of business. The finance and the marketing and all, you know, the 7 QMS, quality management system that you need, they have nothing. If you have a real good product, the first thing they must look is to look for a business mentor. I advise.
And that brings us back to mentorship, which we were saying earlier is so important, and also having a good network. Quickly, Arifa, one of the things you spoke about recently, and we're quoting you from an article, is you spoke on the importance of strategic emotional intelligence or emotional intelligence programs. What are these, and where can entrepreneurs access these programs?
Okay, one of the things about intelligence, emotional intelligence is there are lots. You can go on any of your websites and look for it. There are lots of colleges offering that training. I wanted to go into it myself and offer, because many people ask me, if I would like your style of, and I didn't go into it, Colin, because it's a lot more than that to do. But what I did was, because it was a company and I understood what they needed, I actually did a study of it and I picked out what was important, because in today's, especially now, it's COVID-19. I'm glad you brought this. People don't realize more than ever, managers and employers or the leaders have to come into the innermost sense. They have to get in touch with their most innermost sense. They have to be more than like parents to the employee. Employees now need their support more than ever. They need to make sure, they need to know that Colin is always going to be there. I can always go back if I'm in trouble. They must be made available at all times. You can't have the elders and close your doors and finish and let them do the work. No, it doesn't work like that. And never, ever abuse your people. You know what, Colin? I'd like to share what I found once when COVID-19 came about. It's a zone that I call it. Who do I want to be during the COVID-19? There are 3 people need to be in. The fear zone, the learning zone, or do you want to be in the growth zone? And when you think about that, it is so important. The fear zone is, I will grab my food, I will buy all the toilet papers and keep it in storage. That is your fear zone. You will always spread all the news that is going about. Even though it's not true, you will still spread it, because that fear zone comes out of you. And you easily get mad at everything. But go to the middle zone of the learning zone. And I think it is nice because you start to give up what you can't control. Start compulsive consumption, consuming of buying things. You stop doing it.
Yes.
I don't understand why people bought the toilet rolls. Huh? So please tell me. And then you become more aware of situation and you start growing. You evaluate the information. I went into the fear zone for 1 second. Yes, I went into it. I went and before I could go and spread the news, I went email to somebody and I said, please tell me what is all this about. When the person says, Arifa, it's fake news, it doesn't happen like this. This is, the relief I got. Yeah. So I started clarifying it. I went from fear zone to learning zone. And then I evaluated every information before giving it out. And it's very important for me. Remember, I put all the news on the website. So I have to make sure that's not false news. And then I recognize that we are all trying to do our best. And the best zone is your growth zone. This, when you're in that zone, then you are ready to take till 2022. I'm telling you. Because here I think of others and I want to help them out. I make my talents available. You picked up the phone, you told me, and I said, yes, I am available. Stage, present and focus in the future. Beautiful. 24 hours. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm very sure of what is happening now, and I focus on the future. I am empathic. I am not sympathetic. I feel with myself and also with the others. I'm empathic. I want to know what is it that I can put a smile on your face. Share it with me. And I thank and I appreciate the day of my life to my maker and to everybody who helps me around. Don't forget to say thank you. It means so much. To your animals, because your animals are the first ones to be affected. Because for the first time they say, what the hell are you doing 24 hours a day? I have to stop. Right? Before I used to see you only 5 days a week, in the evenings, but now 24 hours. What's happening to you? There you are. They are the first people to be adjusted to. So you appreciate the fact that they are tolerating you now. So, and you keep happy emotional state and spread the hope around. I look for a way to adapt to new changes. Always. This not, I'll try that. If this not, I'll try that one.
Absolutely.
And I practice quietude, patience, relationship, and creativity every day.
This is exactly why I said we need to get Arifa Parkar on this series, because I know that, and what we've been saying is there's the emotional part of entrepreneurs, there's the psychological part of entrepreneurs, and we're having to deal with all of this. So we need to speak to that part, apart from just the the business jargon and the the numbers and the financials and all those things. We also needed to speak to the entrepreneur as a person. So I could not think of a better person. And thank you so much for sharing all of that, Arifa. Before I let you go, and we're going to share contact details, website information to a WECBOF's website, where there's a load of resources and information that is very important and needed within the industry or the sector right now. But quickly, Arifa, strategies and insights on a way forward. What is your advice there?
My first advice is, if you've got your business running and you're not closing or you're about to close, sit back. Take a step back, take the helicopter ride, not literally, and talk to your team. Don't be alone in it. You are not alone. Your team is working for you. Have confidence and trust in them. Trust them more than ever now. And they will back you up. This is the first one.
That's incredible.
Then you will be able to put down the strategy of moving forward, because your mind cannot answer all the questions. But in isolation, you can't do anything. You will be able to achieve miles ahead. Isolation, loud word now that you've got.
Absolutely, and that is.
And try to all the youngsters, please don't be shy to ask the youngsters. These youngsters have brilliant, let me tell you, Colin, I love them. I love to be with them. I love to sit with them. I love to hear them. And that is how you would move. The first is your strategy. The way next one is when you're finishing the strategy, get yourself to be open to technology, please. And even if you have to, you tell your employee, work from home. Listen, darling, make sure you pay them for the dongle or the airtime or whatever you need. Right? Where are they going to get that from? So make sure you have supplied that. These are the practical things I'm giving you, Colin. I'm
Absolutely.
not telling you to write a theory or thesis on it or a PhD on it. I'm giving you what is necessary. You want to survive this COVID-19? Follow me.
I love that. I love it. And that's exactly what we wanted. Practical steps to revive and reboot your startup or your SME during this crisis. And this is why we brought Arifa onto the show this afternoon. Arifa, lastly, before I let you go, and I've said this 5 times in this interview, lastly, what has been the biggest piece of advice that you've received as an entrepreneur?
Be your true, authentic self.
Ah, I love this. I love this.
Be your true, authentic self. It never fails you.
There we go.
What you see is what you get.
Absolutely. And then we never have to pretend. It's Arifa Parkar, CEO at the Western Cape Business Opportunities Forum, WECBOF, also at Asha Investments. Arifa, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your input, your advice, and your tips to our SME sector on the show. There you go. Thank you. And guys, don't forget to join us next time right here on the Cape Town Fashion Council's COVID Reboot series. This is the place where we bring you inspirational voices, opinion leaders, and experts across sectors in the country to help you move your business forward. Join me next time, Colin Donsko, right here on Cape Town Fashion Council's COVID Reboot series. Take care for now and God bless.